Hello and welcome to my escape. We're in my living room right now because I have to pack. I have to pack to go home. I either have to pack or do my assignment right now. Those are my only two options. For the last half hour, I did neither. Hence why you're now accompanying me. Going back into my first Vlogmas thing, my December TBR-ish thing. I don't know if I'm calling it a TBR just because I don't have great luck with that word. But the books I want to read in December, I'm already halfway through, which is great because we're halfway through the month. I'm gonna go through those now and we're actually gonna split my December wrap up. Not gonna call it a wrap up, but we're gonna split it because I feel like 14 books, it's too much. It's too much for one video. So we're gonna do I think I'm sitting at 7 or 8 right now, and then we'll leave the rest for the end of December. And while we talk books, we're going to pack, okay? I graduate in 4 months and then I have a job for 4 months, and my apartment needs to be cleaned out before I go for my job, but I have a very limited window between the end of school and the beginning of work, and I also live 3,000 kilometers away from where I go to school, and I don't want to give up everything I own. So anything I want to keep but I don't need for the next 8 months, I'm bringing home now at Christmas, and I essentially have this suitcase to put it into. Maybe a second suitcase if I really must. But we're gonna see how it goes. These are the books I'm gonna cover in the video. All these books behind me are books I want to take home that I don't see myself reading in the next 8 months. So you can just ignore those. They're gonna come in somewhere. We're gonna figure it out. So we're gonna get into it, but before we do that, don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. I post videos every Friday, sometimes on Tuesdays when I'm feeling like it. So ring that bell for notifications and you won't miss anything, and we'll hop into the video. The first book I took off the list was Sky Without Stars. Now, if you recall from that other video, is there a way I can prop this up? Oh, we love that. Okay, just look, this is the one I'm talking about right here. If you remember from my other videos, I started this a long time ago, was very excited for it, and then it was letting me down, and I wanted to DNF it. And I was like, no, give it another go. The library had the audiobook. Listening to this on 2.75, 3.0 speed, it actually got good. It actually got good. By the end of it, I was enjoying it. I was into the story. I'd like to see where it goes next. Possibly just because I already own the second book. But you know what? At that point, I was immersed enough into it. But if I have to listen to a book on 3 times the speed it's designed to be, is it good? That's a little bit unfair. To preface on the time thing, because everybody is like, are you even enjoying it at that rate? I do all of the lectures I can on a faster speed than they allow. Ever since COVID, and that became a thing where they would record lecture and then you could speed it up, I live my life at least 2.0 speed. I do that the same when I'm on YouTube and watching YouTube videos. Watching a video on regular speed, I can't do it. I can't check in. It's on 2.0 speed because that's as far as YouTube goes. That is how my brain computes. So yes, I can listen to an audiobook faster than normal and still catch everything that's going on in the story and feel it out and have a great time. The fact that this book had to be on 2.75 speed or 3.0 speed for me to start enjoying it is crazy. It means that the pacing was so far off, so far gone, that's not even okay. Not even okay. So I can't in good conscience recommend this book unless you want to consume it the way I did, in which case, by the end of it, I would say by 50%, I was engaged, I was interested. I'm not dying to read the second book by any means, but I already own it. So take that as you will. I think I rated it 3 stars because I had a weird experience reading it. But I also found out on Goodreads while I was reading things, this is a Les Mis retelling, which I did not know, but apparently there's all these little snippets in there, and if you really like Les Mis, people loved that this was a futuristic version of it. I watched the Les Mis movie once with Anne Hathaway, and I've never seen the play, and I've never read the book, and I won't be doing any of those things because I did not enjoy the movie, and it was so boring and so long, and I don't do classics, and no. But if you're a Les Mis fan, and you really want a YA sci-fi book, open it at your own peril, I guess, is the best I can do on that one. The next book I read, I picked up on my library, and it was This Woven Kingdom. So this is another one that the library had on audio, and oh my god, I loved it. I absolutely loved it. I ended up starting this from the beginning because it was a library book previously and I didn't actually record the exact page I was on. And Chef's Kiss, this was so much fun. This is the same author as the Shatter Me series and I haven't read that series, but I want to. And after reading this one, I really, really want to. Like, it just way bumped up on my TBR. And when I put this book down, I wanted to get into the second one so immediately, like immediately, yes. And the audio was right there. There weren't even any holds on it. I could have had it in my hands, but no. Because of this list, and I'm trying to be disciplined, I'm saying no, we're not doing that. We're going to read in the order that I said I was going to read them in, and we're gonna be good with that, and that's gonna be enough, and that's gonna make us happy. There's these little bamboo bowls that I wanna take home and like keep forever, but I am a little nervous they're gonna break, so we're gonna wrap them up in a t-shirt. I'm a little nervous. Also, my description on this one from my last video was not correct. She's in fact the Jinn. There is like another Jinn who's a very much a Satan figure. I think they actually call him Satan a couple times. She herself is a Jinn and all magic wielders are Jinn. And there was like this old war between the humans and the Jinn. And there's also like, origin mythology of the Jinn and of the humans or the clay. And it was just, it was everything I wanted to be. It was amazing. I absolutely love our protagonist. I love the story, and like the guy sucked in the beginning. I was like, wow, you pretentious little pea-brain prince. That's a lot of peas. And then, you know what? He had character growth, and it was just so fantastic. So fantastic. You have these little like evil riddles thrown in. You have her like hiding, and it's great. And then the ending, I loved the ending. And yes, it's a cliffhanger. That's why I wanted to get into the second book so fast. But it was so good, and I cannot, not that I'm rushing the rest of the list, but I cannot wait for January so that I can read the second book, and then the third book, the final, comes out in February, so it's gonna be perfect, and we're gonna love it, but I enjoyed this one so much. I did give it 4 stars. I actually don't remember why it held back from being a 5-star, and through my energy of explaining this, that's probably gonna be bumped up to a 5-star, because I really, really, really enjoyed this one. So you know what? F it, it's my page. This is now a 5-star read for me. Everyone should go read it. It is YA fantasy. I'm not sure if it's considered YA fantasy romance, like romance is obviously in it, but it's for kids, so there's no spice or anything like that. So if that's what you're looking for, this is not it, but this is such a fun fantasy time. Pride and Prejudice meets Romeo and Juliet, meets Cinderella, meets lovely fantasy book, meets love, meets 5 stars. That's what this book is, and I cannot wait for the second one. And then the third book I read was Obsidian, so I read up to here, just the first book. As a paper book, I can't get it to prop up. It's a YA sci-fi romance, and it's written by JLA, and you know I love her. And I was really excited to get into this one. I was like, oh, what a great bridge. No. And that's really unfortunate because I own the first 4 in this 5-book series, and I own the first 3 in the spin-off series. So I really just committed to this. Yeah. So a lot of it I just hated. Every cringy 2010s romance trope, YA trope, whatever you want to call it, it is in here. And I get that it's a product of the time. I get that. But also big icks all around. This guy, it's insta-love, just right out of the gate, insta-love. Literally opens the door between them, both of them obsessed. Ew. Okay, but we could get over that if he didn't treat her like an actual half-smeared cockroach on the bottom of his shoe the entire book. There was not a redeeming second of this man's existence. He was truly just a jerk through and through. Like, I'm sorry, I'm not rooting for you. You suck. When I was in like This Woven Kingdom and I was like, oh, he started as a PPPPP something. He started as a PP, but he had character growth. That's great. No character growth whatsoever. Our girl was just like, but I'm still gonna be in love with him because he's just so hot. Like, what? Girl, I'm sorry. Literally, I'm sorry. I wanted this book to turn gay so much. And I knew it wasn't going to because, again, 2010s, it's just not gonna happen. But, like, the story between her and her friend, so the neighbors are twins, and there's like the guy that she's obviously in love with, and then the girl that she is like becoming friends with. If this had been their love story, it would actually be such like a cute, like cozy next door neighbor alien love story, like literally so adorable. I could have rooted for them, but not the brother at all. Ugh. Hated it if my noises didn't get that across, which sucks. Because again, I own 7 books in this universe. So, yeah. And then like the story just also wasn't there. There was nothing engaging or interesting about the story itself either outside of the romance. And it gave very much like Twilight vibes. And I'm not saying that to be like a Twilight hater, but in like, there was these like weird parallels. Like him and like the people he sits with at lunch are all aliens, so they're all like ridiculously attractive and clearly supernatural, and like the rest of the town's kind of like like hesitant around them, but they all just like roll in a circle and they're like, oh, but nobody knows about us except a select few. And I'm like, everybody in town knows something is weird about you. Like, you're not subtle at all. But anywho, very unimpressed with it overall. Huge letdown. I am going to pack some books in a suitcase, and I know that I'm gonna break hearts because I never pack books in suitcases, but like, these are like the type I'm gonna, like, they already have cracked spines and messed up edges, and you know, they're frankly, what, pocketbook size or whatever these are called, mass market paperbacks. And I don't love mass market paperbacks to begin with, so they're, sorry, but they're going in the suitcase. And then I did pick up one that actually wasn't on my currently reading list. I know, but I was very honestly arrogant at the time, and I was like, wow, I'm crushing through these. I'll definitely be able to read these 13 books by the end of the month, so might as well add another one right here in the middle. Basically, my prof mentioned something in lecture. It wasn't a assigned reading, but it was just like she kind of touched on it and I wanted to dive a little bit deeper. And when I looked at the library, there wasn't a wait time for it. So I was like, oh, I could pick this up right now and just crush it. So I did. It's not very long. It was like 250 pages. It's called On Palestine. I can't say I loved the book. I'm not going to get politically into it. I didn't rank it on Goodreads because that's not really what my page is about. But this is a leisure read for me, so I wanted to include it on here. Essentially, my biggest issue with it is I don't know what the book offers. I didn't find it was accessible without a background on the issue, or maybe not a background on the issue, but a background in history or political science or something like that. I just don't feel like it was accessible in that sense. And then if you have the education or backing to be able to like really understand the concepts they're talking about, it didn't offer anything new or any real insight, I found. It was very, very surface level, but written in a way where somebody just starting out would feel lost reading it. That was my impression. Obviously, people vary because my prof really liked it, and also it's got a decent rating on Goodreads. So pick it up if you want, but I think there's a lot of other better, more informative literature out there on the topic. Back into the world of fiction, then I read Belladonna, and I'm just going to show the copy again because I think it's so pretty, and I bought it new, and that's the only thing this book has going for it. I'm sorry to say, but this book was just mid, okay? It was just, there was nothing special about it, nothing interesting, nothing entertaining. That's a little bit on me because I didn't actually have any idea what this book was about when I bought it. And I did buy the first and second new, but I bought it because my friend had it on her shelves, and when I went over there to see her shelves, I was like, these are so pretty. And she was like, yeah, you have to get them. The second one just came out. The second one's on sale right now. You should go get them. And then for like 3 days, she kept sending me like pictures of them, and I just got so obsessed that I went to the store and I bought 2 books new in a series I'd never touched. And I didn't know what they were about. It truly, it ain't it. I'm sorry. But what it is a murder mystery. It's a whodunit novel. I hate whodunit novels. I don't care. I don't care about who murdered who. I really don't. Like, this person got murdered before the story even started, and you expect me to care, to follow around a protagonist, to go and find out who did it? Why? It's not my business. Like, why are you out here meddling in other people's businesses like that? Like, there's no. I found the characters flat. I found the romance annoying, a touch creepy, and zero chemistry or connection whatsoever. Just a lot of cringe. I can't even say like I thought it was predictable, because I honestly didn't care about who the murderer was, so I wasn't putting any of my own thought into it. But the other like twists in it, completely see-through, like completely see-through. It really let me down. That sucks, because I was really excited to read this one, and the second is sitting on my shelf. Is this the third book I've talked about now that I already own the second and I didn't like the first? I need to stop doing that. I need to stop doing that. I honestly used to think that I didn't do that, but this video begs to differ. So yeah, would not recommend. There's so much better fantasy romances out there. It's a no from me. So the next one I read was I Ever Here? I was really excited for this one because I think I read Was I Ever Real in October or November. Yeah, it took me far longer than I thought because it was super boring. Super boring. Like, it was insta-love because he walked into a bar trying to murder somebody, and the bartender, he took one look at her and he was like, "You're the love of all my past lives, and we're soulmates that keep getting reincarnated, but we both have dark pasts where we kill each other or always lose each other. And yet despite this, I'm not going to put a single thought into maybe the universe is saying don't be together since we kill one of you every time you get together, and instead I'm going to pursue this in a very creepy, stalkerish manner." There's also heavy, heavy grief in here and sad, sad thoughts, and that can work in a book, but you can't solve those feelings or that experience by being in a relationship. He can't simply scare the depressed away, you know? And I hate when books try to make it seem like that's a thing, or that's realistic, or that's how it works. And I felt like this book did. And it tried to counter that a little bit, being like, oh, it's not the relationship that's doing this, it's my own growth. But from a reader's perspective, it's not. She didn't grow enough for it to matter. It was entirely just being written this way. So I hate when books do that. This was so boring. I was actively rooting against the couple. Not only did they not have any chemistry aside from like being close in past lives, but like these two actual characters I felt like had no chemistry. Like we got a couple flashbacks of some past lives, like at the gold rush or something like that. Like that is a story I would follow. These two wet blankets together, like there was nothing. There was nothing there. So yeah, it's just a no from me. And I was really excited about this one because I loved the second one. This one was a big no from me. I think I gave this one 2 stars actually. The next one I read was Shadow of the Fox. I did this one so dirty in my last video. So dirty. I was so off base with what this is about. I don't know where I pulled that from. It was like, I was kind of right, but also, like when I hopped into this one, I was like 70 pages in, and I was like, I don't know what is happening. I thought we were following like this serving girl. And you can go watch that other video, but I hate it on this book. So I was like, you know what? I'll just go back to the beginning. It's 70 pages, whatever, and I'll just like read it through again. But I sat down with it and loved it. Loved it, okay? Another one where I immediately wanted to jump into the second, and it was right there on the library. It was right there. There was no hold. I had to wait for this one, and there was a hold on this one. There was no hold on the second one, and I wanted it so bad, and I couldn't do it because I'm doing this month thing. Anyways, I know what I'm reading in January. But yes, so to give an actual like description of what this is, my description before was like a mix of this book and A Day of Fallen Night, I've decided. I like mixed some of the two up in my head. When I say this was boring, if you took that and then read the first chapter of this book, you'd be like, she is straight up lying. This book is not boring, like at all. It opens with a bang. So I don't know what I was talking about. Also, my little side rant about the guy and his evil sword and how he doesn't want to lose himself to the sword, also completely off base. He does have an evil sword that he has to like manage and not take over his soul, but he doesn't care. He's like, I'm a tool for the Shadow Clan. I don't care what the repercussions for me are. I just know that, you know, I'm the demon slayer. And he's completely chill with that. And I'm like, okay, good for you. Like, this is great. So off base with that other one. I'm so glad I came back to read this. I loved it, okay? It's like Japanese mythology plus side quests plus fun characters plus an additional character every side quest. And they just like go further and further to like fight the big bad, and I loved it. And normally I don't love the side quests, so normally I like don't love the side quest vibes. I'm like, get to the point, like why are you being distracted? But in this one, for some reason, it just worked, and I loved every side quest, and I wasn't like rushing through it in my mind waiting for them to get back to the main plot. I'm just like, this is a blast, like yes, do this. She is so fun, our protagonist. She's amazing. I love her like morals and ethics, and I love how they like play and interact with everything. And I love how they like play and interact with everything. It was great. It was just, mwah. I loved it. I loved it. And then we finally get to the end, and then the end. I'm so excited to see where this goes. It could go one of two ways, and I'm leaning towards the latter because it is like a YA, but it was YA written only a couple years ago, so it could go the way I want it to go, and I really want it to go that way. But again, another one I really, really loved. I would highly recommend. Japanese mythology, side quests, fun characters. What more could you possibly want? I don't know. Me? Nothing. I want for nothing else. So you can bet in January I will be getting into the rest of the series because I'm pretty sure they're all out. I think it's a trilogy, but I'm pretty sure they're all released, and I think I saw them all in my library, so there better not be any holds. That's all I'm saying. But I'm pumped, and I can't wait to get into this, and love, love, love. I'm so happy that I didn't just clear this whole list, because I was kind of tempted to do that. Just say, you know what? If they didn't hold my interest the first time, they're not going to again. Swipe clear. I'm so happy I didn't do that, because This Woven Kingdom, Shadow of the Fox, I absolutely loved. Two series I'm so excited to get back into, and these two have put me back in my YA mood, and I am a YA fantasy reader, okay? Even though I read sci-fi and adult fantasy and romance and all of these other things, like in my mind, in my head, I am a YA fantasy reader, but all I've crushed for months on end has been like so many contemporary romances, which is fine, it's great, I love them, and like some fantasy romance, but not my YA fantasy soul connection, you know? I just haven't been in the mood, I haven't really been like feeling it, and the couple I've tried to get into, I haven't been able to, so I am so happy. It's just like a balm to the soul when you get back to like your OG genre and you go, yes, like this is it, this is me, I'm back where I love, and everything, just like all the puzzle pieces, they just fit right, and it's just like a snug, warm, perfected puzzle, and I just love it so much. I'm so happy to be back. So what I picked up next was Rage and Ruin, which is a contemporary motorcycle club romance. I wasn't feeling a romance, let alone a contemporary romance, let alone a motorcycle club romance, okay? This was the first one I'd ever tried to read. I started it January 1st, and then I'm like continuing to read it on like December 14th or something like that. Like, I think that's telling. You know, it's just, it wasn't it. But anyways, when I started the book, I did like it, and then I was like, oh, I just got bored of like the lovey-dovey between them, but I won't get bored anymore because it's been so long ago. No, I got bored instantly. I was like, I don't care about how happy you are. And then they did have like some like relationship conflict throughout, but that just made me more angry because it was never ever resolved, never touched on, never like, the character growth was not there. She was like, I had these genuine concerns about the main character, like the male main character, and like our relationship and how we will address these things moving forward. But either he's gonna shut me out or I'm just not gonna ask in fear of him shutting me out. And instead we will just never address these things. I don't wanna read that. No, I don't wanna read that because I'm like, okay, so, you know, give it 10 years and it's gonna be a failed relationship and you're both gonna be super unhappy and hate each other because you actually failed to communicate early enough and along to realize anything was wrong. I hate it. No. Also, as the book went on, I don't remember if this was prevalent in the beginning, honestly, but as it went on, she got more and more of the like, I'm not like other girls. I'm not like the other motorcycle club wives. I'm not like them. I'm better. And I'm like, can you actually just sit down? Like, what are you doing? So yeah, I didn't like that. I didn't like where the story went. I was bored. Something happened, and frankly, how dare the author? Because I was in it for a happily ever after, and then you go and do that, and I'm like, I don't care if the couple gets together in the end. How could they possibly have a happily ever after this? 1000% no. So, didn't love that. And the timeline was crazy. Like, okay, like insta-love is one thing, but then to jump from insta-love to, I can't even really say the list without giving stuff away, but from going to insta-love and like, hey, hi, how are you, to A, B, C, and D, a timeline that could take upwards of 10 years into the span of like, I don't even know, like maybe a month, maybe a month. Like, you're joking. No, absolutely not. But yeah, just was not for me. Okay, and then after Wreck and Ruin, I picked up My Killer Vacation, and I was not excited about this one at all. This is like beach vibes. It is December. This is a murder mystery. Like I said, who done it? Not my story. Guys, I had so much fun with this one. This was actually so cute. I loved it. I gave it like 4 stars. It's just, Tessa Bailey does the perfect balance between like secondhand embarrassment cringe and adorable, where it's like I'm cringing and it's awful and I'm hating it, but at the same time, like I'm loving it. It's not an awful cringe, if that makes sense. And it was so cute. And the murder mystery, I honestly, like, it wasn't a big part of the story, despite it being like the major plot, but to me, it just wasn't a big part of the story. Like, it wasn't something that I felt like I had to care about, or like something that was really like stressing me out. I don't know what it was, but somehow the balance worked, and I just ignored that the murder mystery was even going on, and I just followed our couple, and I had a blast, and they're adorable, and there was character growth, and they actually discussed things, and they actually set themselves up to have a successful future because they were open and honest and able to communicate with each other. Now, there were a lot of tropey things in here, okay? It was grumpy sunshine. It was, I'm not good enough for you. It was traumatized bad boy with tattoos. It was age gap-ish. He's like 8 years older than her, but she's like 26. I don't even know if that's really age gap. Like, when does age gap start and stop being age gap, you know? It was spicy. There's a lot of public stuff going on. And she wants it a little more aggressive than people think the second grade teacher wants it to be. It was also a very fast timeline, but it works, and I had a blast, okay? Some tropes I love, some tropes I hate. Some tropes work, some tropes don't. Whether I love them or hate them, or they may not work for the book. And this one just worked. It all worked. I was giggling, I was grinning, I was having an absolute blast. It was so much fun. And yes, it's a summer read. No, I wouldn't recommend reading it in December, because I just don't think the vibes are necessarily there. But if you're going maybe on vacation, or if you're waiting till the summer, I would recommend this book overall. And I did really enjoy it, and I loved it, and it was great, and it was fun, and it gave me and like, just, yes, okay, yes. This is the Tessa Bailey that gave me It Happened One Summer and Brendan, whatever his last name was. This is the same level, and I just loved it, and it was a lot of fun, and I would recommend. Now, we're pretty much packed because my suitcase is full, and I'm not going to get those books in there, so I might take them as a carry-on, but that would be very heavy. We'll see. I have to weigh this bad boy now. But thank you for sitting here and helping me pack. I have been putting this off for days, so truly needed to be done. And now it pretty much is. And if you're like, wow, you didn't pack anything to actually exist at home, that's true. I plan on raiding my mother and father's closet and just living in their clothes, because I don't have any space for anything of mine that is going to come back. This is all just going to stay at home. And tonight I'm going to finish Royally Not Ready. I'm like 70% at this point. Maybe I'll do some actual schoolwork, but that seems like it's not going to happen. And then I'll move on from there. That's where we're sitting so far. Not too bad. That's what, 8 books off the list of 13, which I would say is pretty good, although we are almost 2/3 of the way through the month. So I'm really, right in the timeline. As much as I like to think that I'm ahead of it, every day I'm like, wow, I'm killing this. And then I do the math and I'm like, no, you're actually right on schedule. You need to continue to kill it. And you need to stop adding extra books in between. Again, go read This Woven Kingdom. Go read Shadow of the Fox. I absolutely love them. I cannot wait to continue with both of those series in the new year. And just so great, just so great. Let me know down in the comments below, what are you doing this Christmas? Are you going home? Are you staying wherever you are? What are you doing? Because I cannot wait to go home. I can't wait. I'm ready for the semester to be over. I'm ready to be done with my assignments. I'm ready to wake up and not immediately go turn on my laptop to work. I'm ready to just chill at home with my cats and my family and hang out. But what is your Christmas, or what is your break, or what is your December looking like if you don't celebrate Christmas? What are you up to this month? But that is that. Thank you for doing this video with me. Don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. I post videos every Friday, sometimes on Tuesdays when I'm feeling it. So ring that bell for notifications so you won't miss anything, and I will catch you guys on the next one. Bye.